Hi, I'm Chris Peters, and welcome to our screencast series on building a social networking site using the ColdFusion on Wheels framework. In episode 12, I will cover joining models together with associations. Okay, so this time around I did a little bit of prep work before recording this screencast, just so I wouldn't repeat a bunch of stuff that I already covered in previous screencasts. So as you can see in the interface here, I'm logged in, and there's an update your status section with a form for adding a status update, much like Facebook or Twitter. So let's add one, a Wheels screencast. And that worked. If we look at the database, there's a new table called statuses, and within this there's not a lot of special stuff going on, but there is one foreign key to people called person ID. And just note that if you're following Wheels conventions, which I recommend, that you should name your foreign key the singular version of the table you're linking to with ID at the end, all one word. So if we look at this, there's my status update that I just added. So let's add a section that lists status updates that have happened recently in the social network, and we'll just do it for everybody for now. So within my main controller, let's create a variable called status updates, and it's going to call the status model, and we'll call find all, and we'll order by created at descending, and at a max let's show 15 at a time. And then in our view, we're expecting status updates now, so I'll CF param that, and let's create a status updates section just below our new form. And this is pretty standard stuff. We'll just loop through the status updates. We'll put it in a P. So for now, let's do status updates dot message, and we'll also do time ago in words, status updates dot created at. So if I reload this, you'll see that my status update that I just added is there. Let's do another one. So there we go. There's my two updates listed there. But you'll notice that we don't really have a way of showing who did that. So what we're going to do is create what are called associations. And to do that, let's open our model files. So first I'll open person, and I'll add an associations section. And there are a few types of associations. For this, let's use what's called has many. So we'll call the has many method. And within this, because it has many status updates, we'll do has many statuses. So a person has many statuses. There's also a has one if they only have one that they link to. So we would say has one status if that was the case, but it's not. So then in my status model, I'll also create an associations section. This time, because this model has the foreign key, we're going to call belongs to. And as a rule of thumb, I recommend just remembering that if your table has the foreign key, you should always use belongs to. Just while you're getting this whole associations business straight in your head. So status belongs to person. With that set now, our finders have an additional argument that we can call called include. So let's include person with our status updates. And I will CF dump this just so we can see what's going on behind the scenes. So I'll reload this. Here's our query results. In the SQL, you'll see that it takes care of the join for us, so no more needing to worry about writing a bunch of join syntax in your SQL, which is really nice. Another thing I'll point out is that there's a created@, property in both the person and the status model. So how does Wheels handle that? Well, in this case, you'll see that it joined all the data, and there's a created@, and this is for the status. There's also a person created@, and that is for the person. And how Wheels handles that, if there's a naming collision, it will take any of the models that you included with that include argument, and it'll put the model name in front of that property. So I'll remove the CF dump. Let's go in here and add the user's name. We'll link to their profile, so link to text, status updates dot first name, status updates dot last name. This uses the user profile route with a URL ID of status updates dot URL ID, and let's bold all of this too. So now if I reload this, you'll see that there are status updates for mine, and it has my name there with it too. So just so we can be clear on that, I'm going to also log in as Homer. And let's post a status update for him. Eating donuts. Drool. So there's Homer's, and if you click any of these, it should go to the correct profile. So if we go here back to Homer's profile, it would be nice to show his most recent status updates. So let's do that real quick. And I'm going to open the user controller, and within the profile, I'm going to set a variable called status updates again, but this time I'm going to call what's called a dynamic finder. And this is pretty cool. Just by having that association, I can say user.statuses, plural because it was the has many. And this calls a find one and joins it to the user automatically and only pulls things for that particular user. So because this uses find all, we can pass any of the arguments that that find all would expect. So we can call ordered and say, created at descending, and let's just do a maximum number of rows of 10 for now. So within the user profile view, to save some time, I'm just going to copy and paste this status updates thing. And since this expects status updates, I'm going to CF param that real quick. And because we called a dynamic finder, it didn't really include that, so I'm just going to change these to user real quick instead of status updates. So if I reload this, we'll see that it includes just Homer's update on this page. And if I go back to the main page and go to my profile, you'll see that it only includes the ones that were associated with my profile. For more information about the ColdFusion on Wheels framework, visit cfwheels.org.